Good morning, students. Yesterday I completed the chapter controlling, but today again I am going to revise about it. Revise the whole chapter of controlling, and which CBSE deleted one topic, that is called relationship between planning and controlling. But these four topics are still available in your syllabus, and you have to go through about these topics properly, because these four topics have the weightage of 5 marks in your board examination. So before starting the topics, I am going to give you the definition of controlling. Controlling is the last function of management which helps in removing the different type of problems from the organization. It removes the deviations from the organization. Whether the deviation is positive or negative, it can be removed with the help of controlling. That is why we can say controlling is an important chapter of your syllabus, and it is also considered as an important function of management which helps the management to carry out all the activities in a best possible manner without facing any type of problem. That is why we can say controlling is an important function of management. Now come to the point, features of controlling. The first one is goal oriented. As I told you people, every function of management is helps in achieving the organizational goal. That is why controlling is also goal oriented function, because in controlling, management decide the planned performance for the organization, and after that perform all the activities related to that particular target only. That is why we can say controlling is goal oriented process. The another one is pervasive. It is also a very common feature of all the functions of management. That means pervasive. Pervasive means everywhere. As I told you about the other functions of management, controlling is also required everywhere. Whether the person is performing their activities at top level, middle level or lower level, he should require the proper controlling system to perform all the activities in the best possible manner. That is why we can say controlling is pervasive in nature. The third one is continuous. Continuous means never ending. As I told you, controlling is also never ending function of management, because once the one function has completed, once one target has completed, then another target will arise in the organization, so that we can say controlling is continuously required in the organization without any break. Or we can say, we can take the example that one organization have the target to produce 50 products in a day, and another day they have the target to produce 80 products. So that the management should require the different type of controlling system to achieve the both of the objectives, so that we can say controlling is continuous in nature. The another one is looking back. As I told you, controlling is forward looking as well as backward looking, because controlling can be considered as a forward looking because it always focuses over the planned performance, and controlling is backward looking because it always compare the planned performance with the actual performance of the organization. That is why we can say controlling is forward looking as well as backward looking function of management. The another one is depend upon planning. As I told you people, without planning, controlling do not have any meaning in the organization, because when the management or worker do not have any plan, then what type of then how they will control the activities of the workers. That is why we can say planning and controlling are interdependent and interlinked with each other, and without planning, controlling do not have any meaning, and also without controlling, the plans may not be work in a proper way. That is why these are the planning and controlling both are interdependent and interlinked. So these are the features. Just look at the features of controlling at first. Take the screenshot of it. Now, importance of controlling. The first one is helps in achieving organizational goals. It is also a common importance of all the functions of management, in which we can say controlling also helps in achieving the organizational goal, because it removes all type of obstacles, all type of problems from the organization, and helps the workers to carry out all the activities in a best possible manner. The another one is judging accuracy. As I told you people, controlling also helps in identifying whether the workers are performing in a proper way or not. Where the workers are facing the problem in the organization, it can be identified, it can be checked by the controlling. That is why we can say controlling helps in checking the accuracy, judging the accuracy of work, whether the workers are performing in a proper way or not. The another one is efficient use of resources, in which we can say controlling also helps in minimizing the wastage of resources which take place in the organization. As I told you people, wastage of resources can be minimized, but it cannot be removed. It can be reduced, but it cannot be removed. So that we can say controlling is an important function of management, which helps in minimizing the wastage of resources or wastage of resources from the organization and to carry out all the activities in a best possible manner. The another one is improve motivation. Motivation level of the workers can be improved because the workers, those are working in an organization, if they face any type of problem and it can be rectified, it can be removed by the management, then ultimately the motivation level of the workers can be improved and the worker can perform their activities in the best possible manner. The last one is ensure order, in which we can say order and discipline can be maintained with the help of controlling, because in controlling, supervisor always check out the activities of the worker, whether the workers are performing the work in a proper discipline or not. If the workers are not following the discipline, then ultimately the problem may take place in the organization. So students, these are the importance. Now these are the limitations. The first one is difficulty in setting quantitative standard. As I told you, sometimes the organization face the shortage of resources, sometimes the organization face the shortage of workers, sometimes due to the power failure, the organization may not achieve their target, quantitative target. That is why we can say sometimes it is very difficult for the organization to set up the quantitative target. Now the next one is no control over external forces. Organization can control the internal forces, those are available within the organization, but it is quite difficult for the organization to control over the external forces, those are available in the economy. That is why we can say the organization do not have the control over the competitor, they do not have the control over the government policies, they do not have the control over the preferences of the customer. So sometimes the controlling may not work because they do not have the control over the external forces, those are available outside of the organization. The other one is resistance from employees. Generally the workers always resist if new change is made by the management, and controlling is an important function which helps the management to remove the resistance of the worker and helps the management to motivate the worker for accepting the changes whatever made by the management in the favor of the worker. That is why controlling also create the resistance of the workers. The last one is costly. As I told you people, controlling is a very costly affair because in which the management has to hire experts to find out the problems, find out the deviations which take place in the organization, because nowadays it is not possible for the people of the organization to identify the deviations. That is why the management is taking the experts from outside to find out the actual problem of the organization and to achieve the organizational goals. So students, these are the limitations of the controlling, and the last topic of this chapter is controlling process. The first one is setting up of standard target, in which the management has to decide the standard target for the organization, and the target should be present in the form of numbers, and also we can say the target should be present for a short period of time for the organization. For example, XYZ Limited is going to produce 100 products in a day. It is a standard target for the company. The another one is measurement of actual performance. In this step, the management has to identify the actual performance of the worker, whether the workers are performing according to the target or not. The third one is comparing actual with the standard, in which the management should compare the actual performance with the standard. Like if the management has decided to produce 100 products and in actually the workers are producing only 90 products, so that type of comparison can be done in this step. Then after analyzing deviation, so if negative deviation take place in the organization, then the management has to identify that why the deviation is taking place and what are the reason of it. Whether the workers are not satisfied, whether the resources are not available, whether the workers are absent, anything may be happened due to the organizational goal, plant performance not achieved. The last one is taking corrective action. In this step, the management has to take out the corrective action or in which the management has to take some measures to remove the deviations whatever take place in the organization. As I told you people, positive and negative deviation, both of the deviations are not good. Whether the positive deviation take place, whether the negative deviation take place, it will not healthier for the company. So the management has to take corrective action to remove all type of problems from the organization. So students, it is all about the controlling chapter, and I will send you some of the case studies related to it. You just complete the case studies, solve the case studies. If you have any problem, you may ask on my personal number. So it's enough for today. Have a nice day.